oftentimes there are just differences in how we process or think about things or relate to the world that are different between you and your partner, and not because you're doing something wrong, but simply you do it differently. Kind of a classic example is introverts and extroverts. So an introvert is going to feel really different about certain situations and friendships and interactions with people than an extrovert is. And that's not because the introvert is wrong and the extrovert is right, it's just different. But it is going to cause a lot of friction between them. For example, you get invited to a party, you know that one of them is going to enjoy it more than the other. One of them's going to interact with people more and have a better time, and the other one's going to want to leave. And, if the couple isn't aware that that's a difference between them, they might see that as a problem, right? Like, why didn't you talk to anybody? Why were you just in the corner the whole time? Do you not like it? Did you not want to come with me? Why are you even here? And it turns into an argument as opposed to just an understanding that they're different. And I think the key thing that's important for couples to realize when they're dealing with an issue like that is that awareness of the problem, so just awareness that there's a difference between the two of you, does wonders for starting to change how you're looking at that from, okay, we need to fix something here because one of us is right and one of us is wrong, into, oh, we're just different and we need to figure out how to work with that instead of trying to make it go away. You're not going to make the introvert into an extrovert. You're just going to have to start realizing, oh, you're an introvert, you're not going to enjoy this as much as me, so what do we do about that? So for example, instead of going to the party and having a terrible time and fighting about it afterwards, maybe when you get invited, you realize, oh, okay, you're not going to enjoy this party as much as me, so what do? Do we skip this one? Maybe I'll go without you. How about we stay for an hour and then we leave? So it's a difference in one of us needs to change to talking about it more in terms of, we're different, so what do we do with that? Okay, I know that you're not going to enjoy this as much as I do, so can we work together to figure out something that works for both of us? And that's really powerful because it starts treating it as you and me versus this difference that we have, as opposed to you versus me. And it's much easier to talk about stuff in your relationship when it's you and me versus this problem that we struggle with, as opposed to you versus me and one of us has to change. And I think, one of the other things that's really important about that is that idea of how do we work around this thing instead of trying to eliminate it. Oftentimes I think about it the same way that you might with like a physical disability. If you have an amputated foot, you're not going to hope that it grows back and just continue living your life as though that wasn't an issue. No, instead you're going to adapt your life to try to deal with the fact that this is something that is part of who you are, and you can still do most of the things that you want to do in a new way. So it's that idea of how do we work with this instead of just hoping this didn't exist. So when problems in your relationship, how do we work with the fact that you and I are different instead of just wishing this didn't exist and hoping one of us is going to change? When you're able to just have that kind of an open conversation about it, for example, with the introvert and the extrovert, okay, this is how we are and that's fine. So now what do we do with this particular situation? That's a really powerful way to take all of the stigma out of it, right? I'm not going to keep making you feel bad for the way that you are. We're just going to deal with each situation as it comes up and figure out how do we work together. So that is just some simple tips on how to deal with perpetual problems in your relationship and how to work together a little bit better to talk through those instead of just hoping that your partner will become a different person.